Good evening. You're tuned into the Upset Podcast. Tonight we are talking about grief, grace, and the question of suicide. Coming up next. Hello, once again, welcome back to the Upset Podcast. We're so happy that you tuned in with us on this Sunday. I'm also happy to be here with these wonderful people. Hello, guys.
Wonderful people. Huh?
Yeah, everyone.
A crowd of thousands.
These two lovely individuals.
Busy pastors. That's all I got to say. We're some busy pastors.
Yes, here, two, there, and yon, right? But how was you all's week? Or previous week, I should say. I always say.
Well, I just returned from a women's retreat at the Church of the Oranges, and this wonderful lady, Sister Donna, is one of our advocate viewers. She wore her Upset Podcast T-shirt today as we closed, and she made a huge commercial telling everybody to tune in to the Upset Podcast. And we were on our last season, and she pointed out that I was one of the co-hosts, and she challenged all the women that were there to watch us.
Thank you, Sister Donna. I love her, and she is getting her wear out of her Upset shirt. When I saw her at Youth Congress, she had it on as well there. So thank you for representing. That was great. Hey, Yvette, thanks for joining us. Yeah, I this weekend, earlier this past week, we were in Baltimore for meetings, and I ended up going back there on Sabbath for their Unity Day, right? Unity Day.
Where did they have it?
It was at Goucher College.
Oh, okay.
Goucher College. So it was a joint Unity Day. So Baltimore area, for those who don't know, they typically have a Unity Day. But this year, they partnered with Chesapeake Conference. As some may know, they're partnering with them on an evangelistic series, Reach Baltimore. And so they decided to have a joint Unity Day. It was great. Great message. Dr. Vandion Griffin was the speaker. And
what was the turnout?
It was pretty good. I forgot the capacity. I think they said the auditorium held 900, and I would say at least 750 to 800 of those seats were filled. I mean,
that's good. That's very good.
Yeah. So it was a great program. I was happy to be able to be there, and got to interview a few people. So we'll see that coming out soon.
I remember when I was pastoring in Baltimore. Baltimore was happening. And Butch Fordham was our area leader, and let me tell you, it was rolling in those days. I feel for a lot of the guys who followed the golden days of pastoring Adventist churches. I think was like between the 60s and the early 90s. I think those were the golden years.
Okay. we won't challenge that. What's up, Keenan? Dr.
Good evening.
Dr. T.
How are you all doing?
Hi, Jocelyn.
All good.
Taking care of so many people, we don't see you that much.
What's that again?
I said you're taking care of so many people that we just don't see you that much.
No. I'm in the process of moving, you all. So you see, I have nothing in the background.
You moving? Oh,
are you moving to Petersburg?
In the vicinity, close to it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
you mean business?
What's that again?
I said you mean business this time.
Oh yeah. Well,
this time.
You see what a blessing it is when you hit that lottery number, man.
Well, Pastor once told me, he said, you got to be close to the people you pastor. You have to smell the air of the people you pastor. Somebody told me that. I don't know who.
Okay. Callie, did you tell him that?
I don't know if I told him, but I've always believed it. I've never
Yeah,
lived.
it was Tally. It was definitely Tally.
I've never lived more than 15 minutes away from my church. Never.
Wow.
Well, I'm not living that close, but closer than I am now.
Wow. Well, we definitely pray for you to move. I hate moving, but
Yeah.
I do too.
but hey, it's going to be worth it.
Are you buying a house, Keena? Just renting close
Oh
by?
wow, you getting all
I know, Keenan's like, I wasn't ready for all this.
Personal? I thought it was personal to ask how much it costs, but I didn't think it was personal.
Yeah, I didn't think so either.
Yeah, no. Yeah, we're buying.
I
We're
got
buying.
houses in Virginia.
No, we're buying. We're buying.
Keenan, I think you've come along at a good time because the interest rates just dropped a little bit, didn't they?
Yeah. All this
good luck. I mean, that is the way you build family wealth, you know.
Got the VA
Means you're gonna be in Petersburg for a while. You planning it?
Hey, however the Lord leads, I'm all for it.
Here's where it's at. Let's keep secrets.
We got 10 years in Hampton Roads, so if I get 10 here, then after that 5 more, I retire. I'm good.
I see.
The R word.
I see.
So yeah, also going on this weekend, the Conscience and Justice Convention happened in Huntsville. I guess it wrapped up today. Can't wait to hear from.
I heard good things.
You heard good things? It was a great conference. I mean, when I was able to attend when it was in DC area, I enjoyed every bit of it. So I can imagine that it was just as great down there in Huntsville.
Yeah, I went a few years ago, and it was phenomenal. We went to just the the Lynching Museum. I mean, that was just powerful down there in Alabama, Montgomery, Alabama. Yeah. And that was a real powerful experience.
Oh my, I don't think I could have taken that, Dr. King.
Yeah, that's what I like about it. They always make sure there's field trips that you're going and learning in whatever city that the conference is in. But also in Huntsville, was it Thursday? The inauguration of the new president, Dr. Gina Spivey Brown.
Oh, okay.
I heard extraordinary things about that. People said it was an extraordinary event.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of online, and I mean, this was this was big time. I mean, it was really nice, and tribute from her daughter. Her daughter wrote her a letter. It was great. It was personal. Just seeing all of the support from her colleagues from Howard. Those who know, she came from Howard University, and even some of the other Adventist colleges and universities. Those presidents came to support, and it was just a nice experience. And Dr. Bird gave the address. So,
which says something, because Dr. Bird was the other person being considered, and so it sent a good sign of unity.
Right, exactly, and he definitely affirmed her leadership as well as everyone else. So, continue to pray for her success. Happy about that.
Will do. I know Dr. Gina. She's excellent.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm thinking about my children heading there in a few years. They'll be here before I know it. I'm happy to know that someone of her caliber is, making sure that the university is headed in the right direction.
Yes, what about that church shooting today? What in the world?
Listen, when I saw that the suspect, can we even call him? He's not a suspect anymore, but the individual drove into the church.
The car, yeah.
And then started shooting and then set it on fire.
Where did this happen at?
A Mormon church in Michigan.
Today.
Yeah.
So they said 2 are dead and 8 are injured.
Yeah, it is. We're living in a society where anger, now the second step of ameliorating or mitigating anger is not negotiation or arbitration, it's vengeance. That is modeled by our president. And instead of negotiation or trying to mitigate, it is, I must destroy you. And a gun represents the greatest amount of power that most people can have. And that is why so many people are attracted to them nowadays. It's psychology precedes the activity. And we've got to change the way we perceive difference and we got to change the way we perceive negotiations and mediation. We're living in a sick society, and we have to confront that.
To where you can't disagree, right, and still be cordial. It's like, if you disagree with me, I've got to get rid
Right.
of you.
Yeah. Your disagreement represents a threat to me in such a way that I must destroy the threat, or I can't live comfortably.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a sick way of thinking.
Yeah, I agree.
So Yvonne Hart said that Pastor Myron Edmonds preached this face off. I heard that a lot.
Yeah, I did too. I haven't got a chance
Where
to watch
was that? But where
Oakwood.
was
Oakwood.
Preached at
This
Oakwood.
past Sabbath.
And he
okay.
He was preaching about a topic that one of our Upset podcast panel often talks about, and that is the lamb-like beast of Revelations 13.
Oh yeah, tell me some more there, Tally.
Yeah, he conflated it somewhat. He said that white supremacy was involved. I said he must have been talking to somebody who just got their doctorate from Allegheny East County.
My.
Yeah, he said a lot. Myron is very energetic, very passionate, and his interpretation of the passage was very interesting. But he was definitely preaching it.
Okay, I must go check it out.
We got to check that. We know Tally disagree with some things. We can hear it already.
But he doesn't take the historicist approach to prophecy. But that's for another.
I actually do take a historicist approach.
Oh, you do? Okay, I thought it was more
that prophecy is best represented by historical interpretations of it. I don't take the preterist approach.
Okay, hey man, I knew I had faith for you, Tally. Yes. Okay.
Sermon was
it was stirring. I mean, Adventists are stirred by certain things.
Did they get upset with him like they do?
Oh no. He's saying all the right things. He said a lot of good things.
Hi, Mr. Sharon. Good to see you. Hello, Sister Mary. Oh, there's Donna. Sister Donna. Dr. Marlena just told us how you were
talking about you, darling.
Talking about the upset at the women's retreat. All right. I'm sure.
Talking about Dr. Marlena. Dr. Marlena preached the word.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you preached there, Marlena.
Not exactly. I just had to do a little closing thing. I wasn't.
Oh, you got your hum on and close.
Yeah. You just open up the Bible, huh, Marlena? I just opened up the Bible.
It was just a little something about or a testimonial for the occasion.
Yeah, know what that means.
Yeah. Did you hum at the end?
No, I didn't preach.
Sometimes I feel. Did you hack a little bit?
I saved that for you, Tally. I saved that for you.
Why? I mean, I notice a lot of our preachers now are using that affect, the hack, the hum. Is that talked about at all in our?
Is it talked about where?
A hummer. So
like when you're preaching at the end of every word you attach.
Give us an example. Give an example.
You say, so when Jesus comes, he's going to be able to crack the clouds of glory, and he's going to say to us that we must change. And, I mean, yeah.
You got it, Tally. You got it.
Oh, I grew up Baptist. I could do that sleep. I mean, but and I don't think we're not tuning much. We're not tuning, and we're not.
You said tuning? That's
tuning
like.
I feel
I've heard a couple of people do that.
You can sing.
Not to call their names, but they can sing, so that's why they.
Yeah, I mean,
if you can sing, I mean, that just came so natural for you, Tally. That just.
I grew up with it. I mean, I grew up with it, but I'm noticing it more and more now.
And I don't want to belabor this because we do have a topic for this evening. So you grew up with that, so you're almost like influenced by that. Like you saw that a lot. Why do you think you didn't incorporate it into your own preaching style?
I'm
at the Vatican. Oh, I'm sorry, my bad.
That's pretty good, Key. That's good. That's pretty good. I am not one who's prone to affect. And for example, when I was coming up in ministry, the idea was to sound like either Brooks. I feel that perhaps the gospel needs to be directed to the entire world. I mean, that was, or the other one was to sound like Cleveland. Well, I'll turn your Bibles open to the 3rd chapter. Everybody sounded like they were from Texas, no matter where they were from. And I was never given to affect. It's
those were pretty good, Tally.
Yeah. You can do it if you chose to. Yeah, you have your style, Tally. I think that's important too.
I just get up and
fight in your own armor.
Like somebody said, I got to be myself because everybody else is taken, and so.
But God is so creative with the gifts that He's given every preacher. No two are the same unless they just try to be. But and you like that creativity. Can you imagine listening to the same style like 10 times at Pelk or something? Well, because they all have different styles, it's very engaging.
Yeah.
The idea of getting to the end of a sermon, and for example, I don't want the organist, accenting and creating syncopation for me, where every phrase, I need something real, and he's gonna have sin.
I like it. It pushes you.
Have you done that, Dr. Renley?
Yeah, I like that.
You have?
I like it.
Okay.
It is affect. I mean, and people have a right to have affect.
Interesting. We probably have to have a show on preaching styles.
Let me tell you. I will tell you this. The greatest preachers I've ever known have never hacked, tuned, or had any affect. Martin Luther King, Henry Wright, what's the gentleman out of Brooklyn, New York? Gardner Taylor. I mean, none of them have. Charles Bradford, none of them have. And I don't know.
Interesting.
Just different styles. That's all it is. No right or no wrong. It's just different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think she's right. Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry. All right. So, as we shared previously, September is Suicide Awareness Month. And it's definitely something that each year we make it a point to cover here on the Upset Podcast. One, because we feel like it's important. And I don't know about you all, but every year we talk about this, I always hope that it hasn't come close to my circle.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, even within this last year, there have been at least 2 to 3 individuals who have died by suicide that I know. And so it tells me that there's still more work to do. There's still more awareness that needs to take place. And also, there are a lot of people, the survivor's remorse, if you will, it's slightly different in that, those they leave behind and the things that they deal with, the conflict they have with processing what has happened to their loved one and what's going to happen to them now, or how do they process their own grief by losing a loved one in this way. So Keenan's going to take us through this discussion as we kind of navigate some of those questions this evening. Dr. T.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. It is Suicide Awareness Month, and as Latasha just mentioned, you never want that to come close to your house. But I am a therapist, but also that has come very close. I think I spoke about this maybe a year ago, I think. But my brother-in-law, during the pandemic, he committed suicide, and just extremely traumatic for the family. So it's hard, and this is definitely a sensitive topic. But so many people are dealing with so many things, and you just never know. You never know what somebody's going through. So you got to reach out to your loved ones, reach out to your friends, check up on people, because that's so vitally important. No. All right. So what I want to start off with, we were given a book. We were given a book at work. Is one of our workers meeting by Karen Mason, and I looked through it. Read through some chapters. It's a really interesting book, and she named some myths about suicide. And then I want to get on the Bible, the theology of suicide, after these myths. So the first myth, y'all tell me, is this even a myth, or is this true or false? What do y'all think? And I'm gonna try to switch the words around. What do y'all think? Is this true or false? You could put your answers in the chat, or just shout it out. Shout out. Real Christians do not experience suicidal thoughts. Real. I'm talking about real Christians.
Yeah.
False.
False. Okay. All right. Number two. Prayer is all a Christian needs. They just need to pray harder.
False.
All right.
Although I have heard that kind of.
You have heard that, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. I have
And
heard that.
all you need is Jesus, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I just need Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
That's what people will say.
All right. People who are, true or false, people who are suicidal are just trying to get attention.
Wow.
False.
What an insensitive thing to.
Some people think that, though.
Yeah.
True.
All right. People who kill themselves are just being selfish.
Yeah, I have heard that. Oh.
I have heard that. I understand how family members who've expressed that, I understand why they feel that way when they are left with it. For instance, I had a coworker where her husband died by suicide, and she expressed her frustration with the fact that now she was left to raise the children on her own and explain to them all of this. And she did feel, and she was being honest, she felt like, it wasn't fair. So I understand how someone may feel that way, but I don't think that's the.
Yeah, I don't think it's selfishness. I think the pain overwhelms them.
Yeah. They think they're helping. A lot of times they think they're doing something for.
He's helping themselves.
Yeah, some think that they're better off helping their family. They will help their family in a better way if they're not there.
Right. Absolutely.
All right. Here's another one. People who kill themselves are angry and vengeful.
That's false.
All right, so y'all know where this is going, right? You know,
Yeah.
They're all false. That's right.
You're excluding all of the myths.
They were myths. So
Yeah. I said they were myths, right? All right, here's another one. Depressed people should just buck up.
Oh my. False.
Buck up.
Man up.
Yeah.
Woman up.
I'm sure that's what they would like to do if they felt strong enough.
People who are suicidal don't tell anyone.
That's not true at all.
That's not true. A lot of them have shared it, whether they're taken seriously or not.
Yeah.
I know of someone. I don't know them personally. I have met them before, but I know of someone right now. Their family is very concerned because they're going around, in a sense, making amends with all their family.
Oh wow.
So they think that this person is on their edge.
Wow.
Yeah, scary situation. Now, number 8, got 3 more. Talking about suicide may give the person the idea to complete suicide.
No. We wouldn't be doing this show if I thought that was.
Right. Yeah, this is a big myth right here. This one I've heard this so many times. Like, if I bring it up, would that make them more inclined to do it? Like, no, you have to talk about it. You got to ask those questions. So, talking about suicide with someone, there's no proof, no evidence saying that that's going to cause somebody to be more suicidal.
It's Keenan, before you go forward, one of our listeners said there are always signs.
Yeah.
Are there?
Yeah, yeah. So for instance, in the case that I was telling you about, again, I'm not around a person. They are way upstate New York, where I went to junior college at, and the fact that they're going around trying to, talk to all their family, make amends, that's a clear warning sign.
That is
Mm-hmm.
a sign, yeah. But
Mm-hmm.
are there always signs?
Oh, are they always signs? That's a good one. It may be signs that we're not picking up on.
Picking up.
Yeah, I
Mm.
remember like when Judas committed suicide, he left a lot of signs.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay, you said a lot.
No,
He didn't leave any.
That's
I
what
was
he,
about to
yeah.
say you said a
wait
lot.
a minute.
There
Yeah,
aren't
But I don't
always
know
signs.
yeah.
when he left after he threw that after he tried to get them to take that money back and they wouldn't. How do we
We
know
don't know
his
if there were signs.
feelings?
That wasn't
Yeah.
the point that I'm making is that and I know that Miss Norris means well, but there are not always signs.
Mhm.
And they're not always present to us. So, for
Yeah, you
instance,
might not see them.
people
Yeah.
I know,
They're not always signs.
Could they be
Mhm.
signs to somebody?
There
You
are
might not
not
see it.
always signs.
Okay. All right. All right. Well. So Tally says that they're not always signs. What comes to my mind right away is this King Saul. King Saul. Was there any signs when he threw himself on a sword? You know.
No, I mean, unless you call getting your rear end kicked in battle and knowing what's going to happen if they capture you, but there aren't always signs.
yeah,
Many times there are, and people should know what the signs are.
right.
But they're not. I mean, and the reason I'm saying that is because people have haunted themselves,
Mhm.
asking themselves, "Gee, what did I miss? What did I miss? What did I miss?"
Oh
They're
yeah.
not.
Yeah.
They're
Definitely.
not always signs.
Yeah. Yeah.
They typically are, but not always. And that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah. Good point. Great point. Great point. The last one that says most suicides occur over the holidays.
Most?
Yeah.
Well, I know a lot of people are
Say
depressed
most.
during that time.
Yeah. But
I
normally
think
it's
they
like in the
happen just
summer.
a year. Oh, really?
Say it again.
I was thinking it happened just any time throughout the year.
Well, historically, it normally happens not during the holidays, but on the summer times or
Oh
and
wow.
if it's during the week, during the beginning of the week. But normally, when families come together for holidays, on average, that's the least. That's the
Hmm.
they least likely
Hmm.
to take their lives.
Hmm.
So yeah. So what about before we get into suicide and Christian theology? What are y'all thoughts about that? I mean, have y'all obviously y'all heard some of them, but what are y'all thoughts? What do y'all think about those?
About the myths that you just
Yeah,
exploded.
those myths. Yeah.
I'm glad that you exploded them.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
I mean,
I am.
no, but I think, like we all said, or some of us have said, unfortunately, we've heard some of those things expressed by
Mhm.
multiple people, especially about the pray it away, all you need is Jesus, and I think that mentality are some of the reasons why people don't share more when they are feeling suicidal, because there's that judgment of that means I'm not a Christian. I'm not a true Christian if I'm having these thoughts. And to share that, particularly in a church, with a fellow member or something, that fear of judgment could prevent them from sharing. So I'm glad that we're exposing the myths, because I think it can help people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Definitely. Definitely. Well. Let me turn Christian theology and suicide. Right. So some people think suicide, and I would like to know your thoughts on these. Right. Suicide is not a sin. Suicide is not a sin. And I would like to know your thoughts about that in chat as well. Some Christians hold that suicide is not a sin, citing diminished responsibility. So, in other words, they're under so much angst, they could not think clearly enough. So, therefore, they have no control over that. So, therefore, it's not a sin.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Wow.
right? Some Christians hold that suicide is not a sin because the Bible is silent on that. So it
Mm.
can't be a sin. The Bible doesn't say thou shalt not commit suicide.
He said, "Thou shalt
Yeah.
not kill
So I
anybody."
I should not
Right.
murder. Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, okay. Some Christians hold that suicide is not a sin, citing because the early church, first century church, going back to the Bible, is just after the Bible is nothing in Scripture or the early right, nothing in Scripture about it being a sin. You know, that's just going back to the Bible as well. You know, now some people view that suicide is a sin. I'm gonna give the reasons.
Yeah.
Some Christians hold that suicide is a sin, stating that the Bible's silence does not imply approval. So just because the Bible's silent doesn't mean that God approves it. Some Christians hold that suicide is a sin, citing the sixth commandment, thou shalt not murder. And here's another one. Some Christians hold that suicide is a sin, citing the sanctity of life. Some Christians hold that suicide is a sin, citing the person's lack of faith.
Mm.
Mm.
So, what do you all think? What is your theology on suicide? Is it a sin? Is it not a sin? What do y'all think?
I feel like it's above my grace grade. I, you know, when I was growing up, I was taught, I'm not sure how it was taught or where it was taught, that, those who committed suicide, it was like you just
Yeah.
bought yourself a one-way ticket,
Yeah.
and there was no question about it. And so
Great
there,
days.
yeah, there was no, so when it happened, it was even more tragic because it's like, not only are they gone, but now they've destined themselves to hell. Like that was the thought process.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. It's a common uh, concept among Christians in particular. And then you face the issue of trying to figure out, well, if that's true, Samson, who suicided, is found listed in the book of Hebrews along the catalog of the faithful.
Yeah.
And so you have to ask yourself, well, wait a minute, if someone who completes a suicide act is doomed forever, then how is it that in the Bible Samson is listed as someone who was considered faithful?
Mm-hmm.
And so now the fact of the matter is, as Keenan said earlier, the Apostle Paul gave a much better definition of sin than the one we normally use, which is sin is the transgression of the law.
I said that?
No, you didn't say that. I was saying the one you gave. You made mention of the fact that people say it's a sin because it's not faithful. And the Apostle Paul says, whatsoever is not done of faith is sin.
Sin.
And so suicide can be sinful. But as we all know, God saves sinners.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to look at it through that lens. It may be a sinful act, but that doesn't mean that a person is lost because of the sinful act.
right. And that's why I said it's above my grace grade. Like only God knows that. I'm not saying it's. I feel like part of the reason that we were taught that was in a way to discourage it. It's almost like you want to stay away from this one in particular because no matter how you live your life, if you go out like this, then you've already sealed your fate. And I feel now that I've gotten to know God a little bit better than I did when I was a kid. I feel like
Thank the Lord.
I know,
I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud?
no, it's true. I say it too. I think as a child, it was about do this, go to heaven. Do this, go to hell. It was all about putting somebody in heaven or hell. But now, understanding the God we serve and His desire for us and the love and the grace and mercy He extends to us, everything's not as black and white as we like to make it in our own minds. So I agree with what you were saying, Tom. So,
Well, let me ask you this. So, if you didn't confess all of your sins, let's just say some slipped through the cracks, you didn't confess all of your sins. The Bible says we're supposed to confess our sins, but you didn't confess all of them. Can you still go to heaven?
Yes.
Okay.
You when the thief was on the cross, he didn't say, God, forgive me. He just says, remember me.
Mm-hmm.
That's not asking for forgiveness, right?
Right. Yeah.
He just says, remember me. right? Have
Absolutely.
mercy on me. That's
And
what.
then previous to that, he acknowledged, that he says we're guilty, he's not.
Mhm.
And so coming
But
to
he still didn't
trust,
say, "Please forgive me."
right? I mean, it's not a formula. It is we are saved by the grace of God through faith.
Mhm.
So when the person comes to trust completely in God, that becomes a transactional salvation experience.
Mhm.
Now, as Adventists, we do teach that. I mean, we got writings that say during the time of trouble, if you got a sin that's unconfessed, and that at the last day we're going to be out in the woods hiding from people chasing us, hoping and wondering if we confessed every single one of our sins, and
Mhm.
we get into that. That the issue of salvation is not that you've committed sins; it is that you are a sinner.
Mhm.
And the sins that you commit is evidence that you are a sinner. It is your status as a sinner that disqualifies you. And once you are in Christ, that status is reversed. So it's not the individual deeds. You don't bring a lamb every 5 seconds
Mhm.
because we have a lamb that was sacrificed from the foundation of the earth. But
Right.
Once and for
So
all.
yeah, so some the reason why I bring that up because some believe, oh, you can't repent, so therefore, nope, there's no way you can go to heaven. But then some will say, well, who did confess all of their sins? Everybody's going to die with some unconfessed sins. So those are two arguments that just wanted to throw out right there.
And
You know.
Dr. Keenan, I think that we don't understand the mercy of God. When God sees, when a person takes their life, that's a lot of pain. Nobody just says, "Oh, I'm just going to kill myself." If
Yeah.
there's something, I don't know if you heard the story about the little 12-year-old girl in Jamaica that killed herself.
Mhm.
It seemed to be pretty traumatizing. I didn't get to hear the whole story, but I heard some testimonials, and they were saying no one was listening to her, and she was,
Mhm.
trying to speak. No one was listening. Can you imagine a 12-year-old girl and Jesus said, "Shouldn't have done that," right? But I think we missed the point of God's grace and what was happening with the person and the pain that sometimes we use. So that I'm a victim of domestic violence. I remember having um what's that syndrome? What's that syndrome that women have when they've been abused, or people?
oh,
PTSD.
Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah. Stockholm.
Oh,
Stockholm.
That's what
Not
I.
that one.
Oh, it's
Another
not.
one.
Oh.
When people are
Copenhagen syndrome.
abused. Oh my goodness, I ain't know about all of those, Tally.
I just
wow.
made that one up.
I
Ah,
was like, I don't know
I
about
just
that.
went to
Anyway,
another
it's
city
gonna
in
come to me in a
Scandinavia.
minute. It's gonna come to me in a minute.
Yeah.
But
Latasha.
your mind is not the same. It's not in a healthy state because depression has taken over. And I'm just so
You
grateful
talking
that
about
God,
PTSD?
beg your pardon?
is it
You talking about
PTSD?
PTSD?
No.
Yeah,
No, I'm gonna think of it in a minute.
it's fine.
But my point
Hmm.
is that I've been down so low. I didn't want to kill myself, but I was hoping somebody else would kill me. And so
Mm.
when your mind gets so low, Jesus is there,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And he understands our sorrow. The Bible says there's nothing that we go through that Jesus has never encountered, right? And so there's compassion when we're at our lowest point.
Mm.
Mm.
Battered
Yeah.
women syndrome.
Battered women. Okay.
And
Yeah.
yeah, Marlena, yeah, you could go to such a dark place, you know, that rationale, reasoning, that's all out the window, you
Mhm.
know. And you feel like the world is just closing in on you, and you just want to escape the pain. And for some
Mhm.
people, they think that that is literally the only way out to escape that pain, you know. And and then if you experience trauma, you gotta trauma, your childhood, sexual, almost anything, they're even more vulnerable because they don't want to experience anything that reminds them of that pain before. So they're trying to do all they can to escape that pain. You
Yes.
know.
So I'm hearing you say that, Dr. Tyler, and even hearing you share, Marlena. So if somebody's listening to us even right now and they can relate, like they're literally in the space that you're describing, what are their first steps?
Oh wow. And then of course God, but you gotta go see a therapist. Go see a therapist. I think everybody should have a therapist, by the way. Everybody, should have a
Tally.
therapist. Yeah, I was thinking the same
He
thing, Monica, but
needs, not to be
yeah,
the therapist, he needs therapy.
Yeah, that was the best thing I ever did for myself was to go into therapy. And
yeah.
I tell people all the time. I had 3 therapists on retainer when I was pastoring West Church, and
Mm,
many of my members were sent to those therapists, and other members never knew. Sometimes I paid for it myself, but
Amen.
It's cute.
people need help, and
and
Yeah.
I I was thinking about this today. There are so many societal norms that we've been deceived by them,
Mhm.
saying, just like we were saying, you were reading earlier, if you're depressed, man up, right? I mean, it's not like the mind, cannot have issues. It's almost like you just being wimpy, get yourself together, or don't you dare cry, don't let people see you cry. I mean, you can't be human. You have to be a
Mhm.
stone. And I had this young lady reaching out to me, and I was trying to get her to go and see a therapist because she's sad all the time. And I was trying to explain to her, the deficits in certain neurotransmitters, right, that could cause her to really be sad. And she couldn't see that her thoughts were, that's just not of God, to have to take medications and go see a therapist. I should be trusting God. And I couldn't help her see it.
Mm, mm. So
Mm.
she didn't want therapy?
Nor the definitely the medications were as if they were of the devil, So
Yeah. And let me say
and I was
something about that. Yeah, take your medication. You know, now some people they're like, I don't want to take the medication. About I was diagnosed with schizophrenia or depression, or I don't want to take any of that. But go back to your doctor because everybody's different. And so what works for one may not work for another. So they have to do a different concoction, for lack of better terms, to find out what works for you. But don't just throw it out. Just don't throw the pills away. So I'm not going to take that. No, take the medication. Please take the medication.
And
Uh,
if we just add this to Dr. Tyler, when you're not on that medication, your thought processes are
Yeah.
off, and you think you're normal, but everybody else said that ain't that's strange thinking, right? But
mhm.
you
Hmm.
think it's normal, right? And so
Hmm.
I'm behind you. Dr. Tyler can tell you that he's a mental health, but you got to get that help.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's okay.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with needing help and getting it. I feel like that's the part that we need to normalize because a lot of people are carrying it because they don't want to seem weak or they don't want to seem like they can't handle it. But we live in a crazy world. I hate to say it. We all need help at some point. It's
Or
okay.
deemed strange. I was trying to explain to the young lady. I said the brain can have its issues just like the heart, the kidney,
oh,
and all your other organs. Don't forsake it because you will worsen. And we're talking about suicide if your thinking is not clear. It's easy for you to perceive things differently
Hmm.
and harm yourself.
Mhm.
Yeah. 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 And that trauma again. Now, there's this test, and I would not advise anybody to do it without a therapist. But that's when you say it, then everybody's gonna go do it.
Yeah.
The ACE
Right
test,
now.
um, and it talks about the trauma. How much trauma you have experienced in your life. You know, and if you're higher than like a 4, please, like, well, first of all, do that with a professional. But yeah, you definitely
the ACEs test.
ACE.
Okay, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Adverse childhood experiences.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, yeah. But again, some people, I would say, do that with a professional. To take that test with a professional. But it's a lot of things that And some people, when you go through trauma, you suppress those thoughts so far down because your brain is just trying to keep you safe. But then something will happen that will trigger, and it'll be like a flood of emotions, and you're just so overwhelmed. But if you have therapy, it helps to bring that out and to give you the coping skills to help you deal with those things.
Dr. T, trauma. When you say trauma, because a lot of people hear trauma and they don't think it applies to what they've experienced. Can you give an example or a short definition of what is trauma so people understand?
All right. Well, I mean, example is you saw somebody die, or you can even be traumatized by hearing of someone else who's been through something. So everybody experiences differently. I don't have the DS5 right in front of me, but trauma experience anything that's just pulled you. And I give an example. My sister-in-law, and I know she don't mind me sharing this, but when she was younger, she was in a terrible car accident, flipped over, an awful car accident. And so that happened years ago, like almost 20 years ago. But to this day, she could get in a car, but she does not want to drive at all. At all. She is so paranoid when it comes to driving. All those feelings, she put her hands around it, all those feelings come right back up. So it could be sexual trauma, molestation, rape, all that. Emotional trauma, again, physical trauma. It's all types of emotional trauma, and again, your brain wants to keep you safe, so you will suppress those thoughts, and boom, someone triggered us come out of nowhere.
Years ago, back before it was really sexy, I studied with a professor at Drexel about trauma. We're talking the early 1990s now. And most people perceive trauma, think about trauma as an event, something that happened. But trauma is deeper than that. It is how the brain records the event, and how it rewires the emotional centers of the brain. It locks into. I'm in Keenan's area now, but in the midbrain, you have the hippocampus, you have the amygdala, and these events get locked into that area to the extent that it rewires the way you process. And sometimes it's not even that it happened, it's that you were afraid it would happen. And it can rewire. So when they talk about trauma, it's not simply something really bad happened. You went through a traumatic experience. It's that your brain has recorded it in such a way that you are now held hostage to the way your brain processes what it perceives happened or would have happened to you. And then it begins projecting it on a screen in your life. This is going to happen again. And when that happens, you cannot change the way your brain thinks, projects, and responds. You can change how you act. Are you familiar with EMDR?
You took the words out of my mouth there, Charlie. Yep. I was about to say that. And EMDR has like an 80% success rate.
Yeah, and I had the hardest time trying to figure out how the heck for those who don't understand, Keenan, explain EMDR.
No, I can't. I'm not an EMDR certified, so I that's my plan to get certified within the next year. I might not do it justice. Somebody can probably Google it or something, but it's eye movement.
Desensitization.
Desensitization. What's the R?
I forget what the R is. Reprocessing. Eye movement desensitization. And it is using the movements of your eye.
Yeah.
Getting your eyes to move in a certain way. And that allows your brain to actually, for example, most people don't realize that when a person goes through a traumatic experience and they're recalling it, their eyes will tend to move upward to the right for some reason. I don't know why. Yeah. But the process, and I met the woman who was one of the pioneers. Me and Ronald Edmonds, and we met her on a train and talked to her for 2 hours, found out she lived here, and she and I became friends, and we still talk. And the idea is like they'll use a pen or a pencil or a key or something, and get your eyes to move as they bring the traumatic experience back to you, and your brain will actually reprocess so that the experience is no longer recorded in your brain as it was before. It's a very
and it's so I'm not gonna lie to you, Tally. When I went back to school for clinical mental health counselor, I was saying also EMDR, EMDR. I'm like, that's weird. I'm not
I know what you're
messing
saying.
with
I know
that.
what you're saying.
Feels like hypnosis a little bit.
Yeah, like file. I was like, whatever. But then I started to do research on it, and I found how successful it was. I mean, of course, numbers can lie, but it's just too many success stories from EMDR. I mean, but an 80% rate of success healing people with trauma. I mean, I would recommend anybody find you a therapist that specializes in EMDR. If you
I think Miss Norris is a professional.
That's what I was gonna say. I'm sensing that.
Share with us, Miss Norris, your professional.
She might be certified EMDR. Yeah.
No, but and that's conducted by a psychologist.
Yeah, therapist. Yeah, therapist could do any licensed therapist.
And this is the reason why we're promoting therapy. A lot of times people feel like they can never get rid of that traumatic experience, or they always have to deal with it, not understanding that there are things in place to help you process. And even in this case, as we're hearing, maybe even reprogram those memories in your mind. So,
now, I have my own method. And it works. It works with people.
And what method might
I know, right?
I'm about to tell you.
As long as it's not voodoo.
I'm about to give you. I'm about to give you the secret sauce. The secret sauce. So this is what I normally do with clients, and I'm writing a book on this. So and I just did this. I did a workshop with Campus Stellar Heights. Not this past Friday, but 2 Fridays ago. But I took this thing from this lady, and I took it. It's mine now, right? It's called the 3 M's, and baptized it, Christianized it, right? A lady named Fletcher. She studied overseas with monks and all this stuff. But let me tell you the power of the 3 M's. That's what I do with all my clients, and it's got people to stop smoking. It's got people to lose weight. It's helped them process their trauma. It's
Chop, kid. Tell us.
I want to lose some weight. Tell us.
3 M's?
I don't know if I should give it all.
You already stole it.
I feel like
you didn't create it. You stole it yourself.
Well, I didn't steal. I Christianized it. Put a Christian spin on it. All right. So here it is. Right now, of course, it doesn't work for everybody, but it has a lot of success with my clients. Number one, in 3 M's. The first M is mindfulness. Right. Are you all familiar with mindfulness, or are you familiar with mindfulness?
Yeah.
All right. Mindfulness basically is being in the present. So when it comes to mental health issues, if you're too pulled in the future, too focused on the future, that's anxiety. Anxiety is you don't know what's about to happen. Right? It can lead to some serious mental health issues because you're always like, what's coming around the corner? What's going to happen? And only God knows the future. But that's anxiety. So if you're too pulled in the past, right? Too focused on mistakes, all that in the past, that's when depression could come in. Got the regret. That's when depression comes in. So mindfulness helps you to lock in and to be present. And in a world of social media and scrolling and so many things, 24/7 news cycle, is a lot of times it's hard to be present, right? So the first M is mindfulness. And this is what I tell people, you just sit down and you just focus on your breathing. Deep breaths, slow breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth, right? And just hold it because you want to get your frontal lobe, you want to get oxygen to your frontal lobe so you can begin to think clearly. So
really I'm breathing, man, but I'm waiting for that next M.
No, hold on. But you can't skip the first one, Tyler. You got to really sit there now. If someone sees you joking, Tyler, you joking.
No, I'm ready. I'm ready for that next M.
Hold on, Tyler. Hold on. And so also, not only can you do it like that, but I also tell people, just do a body scan. Body scan to sit down and feel from your feet all the way to the top of your head. That helps you to get centered. Or imagine you're sitting on a beach, and every time you inhale, the waves are coming in. Every time you exhale, the waves go back. So there's 3 ways to do mindfulness. And let me share this story with you. I gotta give a story behind this.
He's holding those M's
I'm
hostage.
waiting for that second M, Dave.
Yeah, no, you gotta build it. You gotta build it. Hold on. I thought I was leading out. Tyler, let's relax.
Okay, yeah. Well,
So
when I
this
was-
my
I'm
show.
trying to follow.
Yeah.
Tell
Just relax.
him, Keenan,
Sit
this
back.
your show.
Follow the process. Okay, go
Sit
ahead.
back. So when I
Probably
was in
M number
when I was in junior college, right? My shooting guard in junior college, this man would go out and party all night, and then we would have to find him. I played small forward, he plays shooting guard, right? He's a Bed-Stuy legend, right? I'm not going to say his name, but he plays shooting guard, and so he would party all night, and people like, where's what's his name? And the team would go find him. He's in some girl's dorm with his head in the trash can because he threw up and all this stuff, right? And so they would throw him in the back of the van. Check this out: throw water on him, and then he'd go out in the game and score 20 to 30 points. He did this for 2 years. At the end of the 2 years, I said, "What's wrong with you? Like, how did you do that?" And he told me, he said, when everybody leaves the locker room, he finds a piece of lint on the floor, and he focuses on it so much that all of his thoughts are all blocked out, and he's just locked in. Now, and I thought at 19, I'm telling you, he was just crazy. But all he was doing was mindfulness.
Wow.
All right, Latasha, Marlena, y'all following me?
I'm with you.
He lost Tally. Oh, he stood there. Okay. Right. So that's the first M, mindfulness.
I'm being mindful. I'm with you.
All right, good. The second M is meditation. Right. And so what I tell people to meditate on, because meditation really deals with your past, and the way I do it, I tell them to meditate on Matthew 3:16 and 17. And Matthew 3:16 and 17, when Jesus got baptized, God the Father said, "This is my beloved Son in whom I am well pleased." Now, what's so important about that? In chapter 4, the devil tempts Jesus, and he says, "If you are the Son of God, command that these stones be made bread." If Jesus wasn't secure in who he was, he would have had to move anxiously and try to prove something to himself. Now, Marlena, Latasha, Black females really appreciate this, because in corporate America, when I teach them this, because before they learned this, they always felt that they have to prove something. Like they got the weight of the world on their shoulders. But when you can move through life knowing that God loves you, you're his child, he's well pleased with you, you don't have to prove nothing to anybody. You can move through life less anxiously. All right. And then not only that, but I tell people to process your entire past through that lens. So that helps to bring healing to your traumatic past. Okay. All right. And so that's the first M. That's the second. That's mindfulness. That's meditation. And then the third M, you gotta wait for the book to come out. Gotta wait for
Oh my goodness.
No, I'm just so the third M, this is where Christians get a little nervous. So just relax, you all relax. The third M is manifestations. All right. That's just speaking life over yourself. Just saying I am statements. I am healthy. I am strong. And that deals with your future. You're picturing your future. You seeing it. So those 3 M's, you put all of those together. Do that for about 5 minutes each, about 15 minutes a day, and it has done wonders for people. Wonders. And I say this last thing. A friend of mine, he did this experiment where he took an apple, Latasha, he cut it in half. He put one apple in a mason jar, the other half in another mason jar. He took the apple and put it to one side of the house. He cursed at the apple, right? He spoke negative, said, "You not this, you not that." And he played trap music, right? I know what that is. Trap music.
Tell everybody what trap music is, man.
Yeah, then he took the other apple, put it on the other side of the house.
Tell them what it is. They don't. People don't know what trap music is.
Oh, just rap music. Just completely negative.
The nasty, dirty rap music. Yeah.
Well, you're talking more like killing and robbing, all that stuff. Then he took another apple, put the other half of that, put on the other side of the house, and he spoke positive to this apple. played gospel since that. He did it in 21 days. And at the end of 20 days, he showed me this. I couldn't believe it. One apple looked decrepit. I mean, just horrible. He got this off of like TikTok or something. And the other apple, it looked almost edible. Like it was almost in great shape. So I say that all to say words. Never ever say anything negative about yourself, even in a joking manner, or anybody else for that matter. All right, I'm done.
Listen, you got a free session tonight.
I'm telling you, that was good. I wrote down all those notes. So you say I can lose 10 pounds this way.
People have lost weight doing that.
First, you got to cut an apple now.
And how long do you have to meditate?
No, I would say do it for 5 minutes each. You know,
Each
so about
section,
15 minutes, or if you could do more, even better.
Every day.
Every day. And then you can rewire your brain. You do this for about 2 months, you can literally rewire your brain.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Dr. Tyler. We all got a free session.
That's what I said.
You have any empirical data on that?
Oh yeah, I got my clients. My clients.
No, really. You've collected data on this?
Yeah, because you know I'm doing it in real time. So if it don't work, I'm not going to keep doing it with my clients. But because it's still working, and they come back, they telling me, you know, the good results of that. You know, then I keep doing it. I keep sharing it with other clients. You know, so
I mean, it makes sense because part of our issue is the go, never taking time to stop and center ourselves and focus. So, I mean, it makes sense that would be effective.
Yeah, the book coming. Working on that book.
I'm hoping that we do better. What people don't realize, everybody knows about homicide and violence and murders and all that, but of all of the people who die violently in this country, 61% of them die by their own hand.
Oh yeah.
Suicide exceeds homicide by far.
Really? Oh
Yes.
My goodness.
Suicide far exceeds homicide.
Has that increased recently, or has always been that way?
Always been that way.
Always been top 10. There's always
always been that way. And then if you link it even more so with drug overdoses, it becomes even clearer as to what's going on. And people have to understand, for example, what is motivating them. I mean, there are some people who are clinically prone towards depressed thoughts of self-injury. There are other people who, as Keenan mentioned, they are driven by traumatic episodes that they have not resolved. There are other people who find themselves in a momentary state where they take a deep and dark course. And I can remember the devil speaking to me one night during one of the worst periods of my life. And I could hear the whisperings almost as clearly as I'm listening to you guys right now. And I remember for the first time in my life realizing that I am too close to the edge. And I remember the words, "It won't be painful and it won't take long."
Wow.
Just as clearly as you're talking to me now. And I knew exactly where it was coming from. But the thing is that the devil knew that I was in a space where those words could find a lodging place, and I needed to get help. And I did. Now I wasn't thinking of suicide, and I you have to ask people, have you thought of hurting yourself? And then you have to ask people, have you made plans? Because people slowly make plans for these things.
Yeah.
And then do you have access? If they say yes, well, one, if they say yes, then you gotta just call.
You gotta throw something in. Yeah, you gotta.
Yeah.
And
the next question, do you have access? So if somebody says, I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z, that's my plan. All right, do you have access to that? This is like a 911 situation. This is red alert. You gotta call 911 because this is critical.
It's literally like that.
I mean, the Bible is filled with people, from David to Moses. When Moses said to God, "Just take my life, let me die," to Jonah saying, "Throw me overboard, let me die." I mean, the Bible is filled with people.
Elijah,
it's filled with people, godly people, who wanted an abrupt way out, and it's not weakness to come to that place. it's human, and we have to help people to accept and embrace the reality of where pain can take you.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. I love what you did, Tyler, at your church, having the three. You said you had
Yeah,
three therapists on
yeah.
retainer. Is that what you said?
On retainer, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think every church. I know at Calvary, in Newport News, we did the same thing. We had one therapist that we would send people to. But yeah, that's. I think every church should have that. And then if you
Pastor
experience
Jamal, my friend.
Jamal, yeah. But then I want to say this.
Or as we say in the Delaware
JJ.
Valley, Damus hath forsaken us.
He left us for greater things.
He can always come back. He's always come back.
He ain't coming back to Madison. He's not coming back.
He ain't
Yeah.
coming back.
Yeah. So I just want to say this for those who experience trauma. One of the best things you can do for yourself is relational connectivity. You got to connect. Got to connect. That's why church is so important. But you got to connect with people. It helps.
Yeah.
It helps in healing that trauma. And then if you experience depression, one of the best things you do for depression is get active. You have to get active. Open up those curtains. Do something. Get active. Get moving.
Exercise.
Yeah.
Rely on
Fresh
their
air. I know that fresh air and sunshine is very important too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love you too, even though you left us.
Left ain't coming back. Let the record show.
Don't even think about us.
Yeah, Jamal does everything. I don't know if you don't know. Jamal Pastor Jamal, he could rap. He could play basketball. Of course, he can preach.
Yeah.
He does a little bit of everything. I'm like, this guy box. He does everything. I'm like, what don't you do, man?
He's one of them St. Louis brothers. You know what I'm saying? In the dictionary, if you look up colored brothers, it's going to be somebody from St. Louis. St. Louis has got more. I mean, when you talk about the dirty South, I mean, St. Louis is it. They are really brothers down there,
Wow. All right. Well, guys. Yeah, he's laughing.
Great teaching.
Yeah, listen, and
thank you.
One of the reasons why we do the Upset podcast every week is to connect with you all. And so we hope that this can be a space where we can connect and share resources that can kind of help as you navigate life and individuals. So I thank you, Keenan, for sharing some methods, and all of you for what you shared to kind of help. Havis, you want to share some news from another conference? We can offer our congratulations.
Well, yeah. While you're going there, the Allegheny South Conference has reelected.
Allegheny South?
Yeah, they used to call it Potomac, but now we know what it really is.
Oh, did they have theirs already?
Yeah, they just had it today.
They surely did.
Yeah, they reelected Tapp as president.
Okay. Yeah. Now, do they have term limits?
I don't know.
Yeah, normally state conferences don't.
Oh, yeah, I heard that. This is just regional. But, yeah, thank you. Is it AmLiv?
That's what sounds like AmLiv.
AmLiv. Thank you. We appreciate all you shared as well tonight. Okay. So
one last thing for those who, they say they're getting counseling. Your pastor can provide pastoral counseling.
Oh,
that is not therapy.
Very good.
And don't make your pastor your therapist.
Mm-hmm.
The pastor gives spiritual guidance, encouragement, and support.
Yes.
I would tell my members, I'm not going to be your therapist. I don't want to. If you and your husband are having intimate relationships with a goat, I don't want that on my head while I'm up in the pulpit thinking of you and your mate.
I don't want that in my head right now.
There's certain things that as a pastor, I really would rather not know. And I may not need to know that. So, as a pastor, I made sure that my people had and the good news, Dr. Beverly Gordon, who was a therapist, was a member of my church.
Right.
And I wanted to make sure that she didn't become overwhelmed with people needing therapy, because you don't want to go to church to go to work. That's the pastor does that. The rest of the people should be free to go to worship, but get yourself a therapist. Find a
Yes.
therapist. Pay the money that pay the money. And if the first therapist is not helping you in a way that
I don't
you
know.
can measure, find another therapist. Just like a restaurant. If you don't like what they cooked in the first one, find another one. But get yourself a
Yeah.
therapist.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
thank
and
you.
I just want to say this to Latasha, because Tally said something that's so vital. When I was in school, they made everybody go to therapy. And so I waited to the last minute and I found a therapist. I couldn't find nobody that looked like me. So I found a therapist, an older white lady, and I thought to myself, we have nothing in common. What are we going to talk about? So I said, I'm just here for school. That's it. I said, I really don't have nothing to talk about. She said, okay, you don't have nothing to talk about. Okay, no problem, no problem. And so she said to me, she asked me two questions. She said, what's your favorite class in school for clinical mental health, to be a clinical mental health therapist? And what's your least favorite? From those two questions, just those two, I opened my whole life to her. I kept
Don't
talking.
count
She
them
said,
out.
okay, we're out of time. I said, out of time.
I'm just getting started.
Yeah. So I say that all to say, as long as they got the skills, I mean, go to a therapist. I think
Yeah.
everybody, again, I cannot stress that. Go talk to somebody, talk to a professional, a licensed therapist.
Yeah, I agree. Even recently, I was looking for another therapist, and I went through that whole thing with you did, Keenan. I was like, oh, I want this and this and this, and I was searching, couldn't find anyone, and so me being so adamant about the type of therapist that I wanted kept prolonging, and then finally, I just told myself, listen, I'm going to do it, and I'm not going to make any excuses, and I did, and so far, so good. So eliminate the excuses, just do it. You'll be the better for it. And
And folks, please don't. There ain't nothing wrong with me. Look, you go to a doctor to maintain your health.
right.
Don't wait until you walking on a limb and a wing and a prayer, and you can't help yourself.
Yeah.
Go to therapy now just to see what condition your condition is in.
Yeah.
And and the first visit typically is exchanging information, getting to know the person, feeling comfortable in the environment. So don't go and say, I went and nothing changed.
Yeah.
Give yourself at least 3 visits before you.
Process.
It's a process.
Yeah.
I can, and I am a living witness. When my mom died, and I had done so many funerals, this was during COVID time, 2021. I did so many funerals of people that I knew and loved. But when my mom died, that thing shook me to my core. And I had Dr. Tyler meet with me and my family. One session, what he said to me, I felt extremely lifted and still mourning,
Yeah.
but it helped me in the process
Mm-hmm.
where before I was feeling very broken and hopeless. But what he said, it helped me. And so I just want to say to everyone, you can think you don't need it, and I'm a pastor and I love Jesus. Jesus there for me, but my emotions and the emotional pain that I felt, like when Jesus cried over Lazarus, right? And he knew he was going to resurrect him in a few minutes. But you need somebody to talk with. So I just
No.
extremely helpful.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Amen. Thank you for the
Yeah.
share.
Sorry, I did want to. Somebody asked a question. I know that we have different platforms commenting, so I always want to make sure both platforms hear questions and they're resolved. So we were talking about pastors as they're, offering therapy. Someone asked if that was a conflict, and it was answered that yes, it can be, particularly if they're not licensed to do that. So I just wanted to make sure that that was.
Yeah, you're not supposed to have that dual. State of Virginia is very clear. You can't have that dual relationship.
Yeah. So, yes, thank you. Just wanted to clear that up. And yes, of course, Sister Donna, this is definitely a time that we all enjoy together. We're glad that you're here with us every Sunday. We appreciate you, and thank you for that. All right, everyone. Well, we got our 3M's, so we're ready for the week.
You go.
I'm going to lose my 10 pounds with these M's.
Yeah.
For work, I'm going to throw tomatoes through the screen. Dr. T.
Mindfulness,
It might
meditation.
be operator error, you know. So
Okay. Wow. All right, guys. Well, thank you for engaging in this conversation with us. One last time before we go, if you or you know someone who may be battling with suicidal thoughts, there are some resources as well. There is a site there that's scrolling, 988lifeline.org. There's also the number 988 if you ever feel like you need immediate assistance. Please utilize that. We also have resources on our website, our relationship ministries website. Visit aec.org/relationshipmen. So make sure you check that out. We care about you and want to see you here. And thank you all for this conversation this evening. All right, everyone. We'll see you back here, same time, same place next week. Bye.
Okay, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Everyone.
hey.